It's story time with your creepy Uncle Jizzo.
All right, it's your old pal Jizzo here, back again. I did this story last week called Label Interest, and people seemed to like it. So I thought, why not carry on the tradition and do a story from my book, Angst for the Memories, about one night I went to the Rainbow with my ex-wife and her friend who wanted to see all the rock stars. So I thought, why not? Creepiness will ensue. Now, this book was written a while ago, so I don't know if the Rainbow is as it was then. I don't know if there are mafioso types in the front lounge holding court. I don't know if there's a bunch of creepiness upstairs. But I'm betting that there is still an element of creepiness, and there always will be. So let's carry on with the story, and it's called Lounge Lizardry. Lounge lizardry. What is that? Adjective. A proliferation of lounge lizards or a state of reptilian grace. Usually on the weekends, the Rainbow is packed with drinkers, rockers, tourists. There are the tourists looking for Slash. There's the foreign exchange students looking for Slash. It's packed to the gills. Mullets on every bar stool. Lip service spandex still reigns supreme. But lurking amongst the fringed Bon Jovi jackets and the cheap stench of Aquanet is the unmistakable hiss of the lounge lizard. There are the old men, lawyers mostly, who think that they can hook up with a young rocker chick by plying them with free drinks and lots of coke. And they can. There are the wannabe Brian Epsteins, entrepreneurs whose job it is to bamboozle young bands out of their publishing. And they do. There are the pseudo-gangster types, big tough guys that push their weight around, and nobody fucks with them. The Rainbow has existed for 40 years now, 50 years now, 60 years now. It is a landmark on the Sunset Strip, and every rocker, sooner or later, must make his Hajj to its glimmering neon lights. Last night, however, was an object lesson in severe lounge lizardry. It was a Wednesday, and therefore only half full. See, when you walk into the Rainbow, everyone sitting at all the tables immediately twists their head around to look at you. They want to see if you're somebody. Think of all those bands from the 80s. Trixie Licks and Hoxie Rocks, Mixie Fix and Hoxie Fox, Roxy Rocks and Filthy Rocks, Rox Regime and Roxy Cox, Foxy Rocks, Foxy Fox, Foxy Foe, and so on. See, if your band name or your stage name had either the words Rocks or Fox in it, you were considered pretty cool. Rick Fox, Vicky Fox. Would you do it in a box? Would you do it with Vicky Fox? Ex-wife says, I want to dance. Let's go upstairs. Now the upstairs is where people go to dance. It's real dark up there and perfect for doing drugs or groping or talking all sorts of Hollywood bullshit talk. It's also the den of the lounge lizard. The three of us went upstairs and surveyed the scene. On the dance floor were two mullet heads, tourists presumably. It seemed safe, so ex-wife and her friend went down the little set of stairs to dance, and I sat at the edge just watching. Then it started. Your girlfriend, she's hot. I turned to look, and there sitting next to me was Richie Cunningham's father from Happy Days, a drunken, coked-out Tom Bosley lookalike. He looked at me with beady red ferret eyes and a leer worthy of John Wayne Gacy. Yeah, I said, turning away. I watched the girls dance. I didn't want to really talk to this You must have a problem, he said, and returned to the Pac-Man machine on the tabletop that he was playing. His hands were jiggling so much from the drugs that he just kept losing. He'd put in quarter after quarter and just lose. I watched the girls dance, and in the course of 10 minutes, they got hit on 4 times. And when I say hit on, I meant solidly interrupted, forced to stop dancing, forced to be shitty, real shitty, just to make the lizards go away. I should have brought my bag of romaine lettuce to keep them at bay. The girls dancing had obviously awakened the reptilian's primal instinct to mate. First came Tom Bosley. He positioned himself right between ex-wife and her friend and started to dance like Zorba the Geek, kicking his heels and spinning, opening his lime green sport coat to show off his attractive lime green vest. And the girls started laughing at him. They couldn't help it. They laughed at him, and then he started laughing because I guess that's what idiots do when they don't know they're being laughed at. Then came Mr. Adidas warm-up suit guy. He was hammered and swaying from side to side. He just bumped into them. I mean, that's how he gets chicks. He gets them by spilling his drinks on them. This guy was creepier than Bosley. He demanded to party. He wouldn't take no for an answer. "Did you just tell me to f*** off?" I heard him yell over the loud music. He seemed befuddled, like this was the last thing he expected to hear. And he still wouldn't leave. He just stood there holding his drink, swaying from side to side. Over in the far corner of the bar, someone was gesturing to me. He was a big gangster-looking guy, like a good fella. He waved to me, and I thought he recognized me, so I waved back at him. I guess he took that as a sign to come over.
"Do your girls like to..."
I looked at him, speechless. What do you say to that? I don't know. This guy was big and his accent was foreign, so I just decided to play along.
"I want your girls to dance with my girls."
He pulled this tall, attractive Jamaican girl next to him out of her seat. She was pretty, but she seemed really nervous, probably from all the blow he'd been shoving up her beak. "Girls," I said to them, "why don't you go dance?" Ex-wife took the hint, and the 3 girls returned to the dance floor, leaving me with Sammy the Bull Gravano.
"Don't get me wrong,"
He said in his stilted English.
"I love to f***. I like to give all my girls the big d***.
And he showed me his forearm to emphasize his prowess.
I used to just f*** them, but now I get them to their own first, and then I f*** them."
Looking at this piece of shit, I imagined all sorts of horror behind the closed doors. This guy was the devil. He wasn't just a lounge lizard, he was a fucking Gila monster. This guy and his buddies, they looked for girls fresh off the bus, naive and innocent. He'd get them high, feed them his lies, and then introduce him to his associates, Scum and Bag.
"We're having a party later
And he put his hand on my shoulder.
in Beverly Hills."
He enunciated the words real slow, so I would be suitably impressed enough to want to sell my girls into the white slavery business.
"There's some girls there, fresh from the Bahamas.
He winked.
2 girls for every guy."
I just nodded my head. I didn't want to say anything sarcastic to piss him off. The air was getting thicker. It must have been the full moon. Ex-wife came off the dance floor and I pulled her arm. "We're getting out of here," I said. "That girl didn't want us to leave," ex-wife said. "The one we were dancing with? She said she'd lost her boyfriend and those guys had given her a bunch of coke and she didn't want us to leave." I couldn't help her. She was already a fly caught in their web. Her die was cast. She'd either find her boyfriend or she wouldn't. She'd either get away from them or she wouldn't. In the jungle, the gazelle doesn't question the lion as to why he kills. He just sips slowly at the watering hole, counts his blessings, and moves on. And then ex-wife's friend said, "I need to go to the bathroom before we leave." So we're sitting there at the bar, and I found all this out later, but basically, as she was coming back from the bathroom, she got grabbed by this guy, and it was almost like the Alien thing. This guy comes up to her and tells her in about 5 minutes that he's in Pretty Boy Floyd, some hired gun. He just got off the road from a world tour. He's staying over at the Hyatt in a suite. He's staying at the Hyatt in a suite. And he's really lonely, and he wants to hang out with her, and can he go home with her? I mean, this is the sort of shitstorm spiel that these guys have. They see these girls, naive, don't know what's going on, and they deliver this Shakespearean monologue of horse shit. And in 48 hours, this girl is working at the body shop supporting this f***er. On the way home, I gave ex-wife's friend a short lesson in Hollywood. She, being new in town and vulnerable to all the lies and the villains. See, every day, young, naive guys and girls come to LA to get a record deal or to get on Baywatch, and most don't.